Good day to you all. Today we are going to look at finding the first derivative from first principles. If you look at the question that I have for you, it reads, given that f of x is equal to 1 plus 4x squared, determine the first derivative from first principle. So step number 1, I'm given f of x is 1 plus 4x squared. But if I look at the formula sheet there, I also have this component here, f of x plus h. What does this mean? It means that wherever there is x, I must substitute x plus h. So 1 plus 4, open bracket, x plus h all squared. Right, then I simplify this. When I simplify this, it's going to give me 1 plus 4, then I open bracket, these are two brackets and I can simplify them to give me x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Then after that I continue, 1 plus 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared. When I'm done with simplifying, I go to step number 2. In step number 2, I'm going to write down the formula. What does the formula say? The first derivative is equal to the limit as h approaches naught of f of x plus h minus f of x. Everything divided by h. What I would advise you to do is, do not cram these formulas. Always check them on the formula sheet. Then my next step will be substitution. Equal to, so wherever there is f of x plus h, I'm going to put this simplified version. So I'm going to write 1 plus 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared minus f of x. I put a bracket here, minus 1 plus 4x squared. But everything is over h. Please do not forget to put the limit here as h approaches naught. Then I continue with my simplification. When I look at my simplification here, I can see that when I remove the brackets here, this part is going to give me minus 1 minus 4x squared. And when I look at my question here, I can see that this 1 here is going to cancel with this 1. And then this 4x squared is going to cancel with this 4x squared. And what am I left with? Limit as h approaches naught of 8xh plus 4h squared, everything over h. Then when I look at my denominator here, I can see that in the denominator I have a common factor h. So I'm going to pull out the h, and when I pull out the h, this is what I'm going to get. I'm going to get 8x plus 4h, everything divided by h. Then I can see that this part is going to cancel that part, equal to limit as h approaches naught of 8x plus 4h. And then my final answer is now going to be 8x. I want you to notice something here. Every time when I started from writing the formula there, when I did my substitution, the limit as h approaches 0 is there. This section here must always be there until I come to my final answer there. Let's move on to the next question. It says here, determine from first principles. Determine from first principles the first derivative if it is given that f of x is equal to 5x squared minus x. So I'm going to start here. Step 1. F of x is equal to 5x squared minus x. Then I also have this component on the formula sheet, and remember this is substitution. So I'm going to do my substitution, and always remember to put the bracket. Then when I'm substituting here, after I have substituted, now I have to simplify. Equal to 5 open bracket x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus x minus h. And my final answer is going to be 5x squared minus 10xh plus 5h squared minus x minus h. When I go to step number 2, I begin by writing down the formula. And my advice would be always check the formula in the formula sheet there. Limit as h approaches naught of f of x plus h minus f of x. Everything over h. Then I substitute. But when I substitute, I must also have the first part there. This is very important. Limit as h approaches 0. Then I do my substitution. 5x squared minus 10xh plus 5h squared minus x minus h minus the f of x part. And the f of x was 5x squared minus x. Then I close bracket, and everything is over h. And again, when I look at this section here, this part here is going to give me minus 5x squared. And then that part is going to give me plus 5x, of which this 5x squared and this 5x squared are going to cancel out. Minus x and plus x, they are going to cancel out. Then I write down what I'm left with in the next step. But I always write my first step because I'm still in the process of simplifying. I'm left with minus 10xh plus 5h squared minus h. Let me check again. 1, 2, 3. This is what I'm left with. And then everything is over h. Then after that, I'm going to continue the limit as h approaches naught. Then I pull out the h, or I take out a common factor. This is going to be 10x plus 5h minus 1. Everything over h. And then I can see that this h is going to cancel with this h. What am I going to be left out with? The limit as h approaches naught of 10x plus 5h minus 1. But remember, we are saying here the limit as h approaches naught. So this section here is going to disappear there, or is going to become 0. And then my final answer is going to be 10x minus 1. Right, let's move to the next question. The next question reads, find the first derivative from first principle given that f of x is equal to x to the power of 3. Step number 1, f of x is equal to x cubed. F of x plus h, the substitution, is equal to x plus h to the power of 3. Right. When we simplify this, we have to borrow some concepts from the lower grades. So I can expand here and say x plus h, then I'm going to get x plus h squared. Let me simplify the second bracket first. When I simplify the second bracket, I'm going to get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Then I can distribute x first. When I distribute x first, I'm going to get x cubed plus 2x squared h plus 2xh squared. Then let us distribute the h. I'm going to get plus h, then x squared plus 2xh squared plus h cubed. Do I have like terms? Let me check here. This part and this part. I also notice that this part and this part, they are like terms. So my final answer is going to be x cubed plus 3x squared h plus 3 x squared h plus 3 x h squared plus h cubed. Let's look at our like terms again. If we look at our like terms again, this part and this part, they are like terms. This part and this part, they are like terms. Then our next logical step, step number 2, will be to write down the formula. So let's write down the formula according to the formula sheet. F of x plus h, f of x, everything over h. After writing down my formula, I have to substitute. So this is going to be a limit, always. I almost forgot there. X cubed plus 3x squared h plus 3xh squared plus h cubed minus the f of x, which is x cubed. Everything is over h. And when I look at my work here, I can see this part is going to cancel out with that part. Then I continue, I write down what I'm left with. Limit as h approaches 0 of what? 3x squared h plus 3xh squared plus h to the power of 3, everything over h. Then I take out a common factor. I take out a common factor, and my common factor is h. This is going to be 3x squared plus 3xh plus h squared. Everything over h. This part is going to cancel out, and I'm going to be left with limit as h approaches 0 of 3x squared plus 3xh plus h squared. But because we are approaching 0 here, this part here is going to disappear, this part is going to disappear, or they are going to approach 0 as well. So my final answer will be 3x squared. My final answer will be 3x squared. And let me repeat the last part here again. When we are here, this part here is going to approach 0. This part is going to approach 0. So they are going to disappear, and I'm going to be left with 3x squared. Right. Let's look at the last question here that I have on first principle, and it involves a fraction. It involves a fraction. Maybe you can pause the video and try it on your own, and then after that you can check the video. Step number 1, f of x is equal to 3 over x, implying that f of x plus h is equal to 3 over x plus h. Step number 2, I'm going to write down the formula. The first derivative of f of x is equal to limit as h approaches naught of f of x plus h minus f of x, everything over h. Now let's do the substitution. Equal to limit as h approaches naught of 3 over x plus h minus 3 over x. But when I reach this stage here, I don't want to put another line here. So I can put a bracket here and say divided by h over 1. Then I can put a square bracket like this. I am simplifying fractions. So when I'm simplifying fractions, I have to find the LCD. And my LCD is x, then x plus h. Then I'm going to multiply here. This is going to be 3x minus 3h. In other words, this x here is going to multiply this part. This is going to multiply that part. But because there is a negative sign here, that is why the sign is changed. Then I can say times 1 over h. 3x minus 3x, these ones are going to cancel. And in my next step, I'm going to be left with limit as h approaches 0 of minus 3h over x plus h times 1 over h. And again, if I am to simplify here, I'm going to see that this part here and this part, they are going to cancel out. What am I going to be left with? I'm going to be left with limit as h approaches 0 of minus 3 over x plus h. Right. When I get to this step here now, I will see that this part here is also going to approach 0 according to the statement that we have here. So I'm going to be left with minus 3 over x times x. And my final answer is going to be minus 3 over x squared. Thank you very much, grade 12. This was our lesson on first principles.